Does the world need more gurus? Hi, my name is Susie Porter, and I help women find the wisdom within themselves so that they can be their own guru. Today, I really want to talk about gurus and what it means to be a follower. Buddha's last words before he died were, "You should not think that without the Buddha you will have no teacher, for the method and discipline you have learned will be your teacher. Work out your salvation with diligence." As I was reading those words, I was imagining how Buddha's followers must have felt when he died, or how the followers of Jesus might have felt as they were watching him being crucified. How did they go on without Buddha, without Jesus? How did they feel? And how did the teachings of Buddha and Jesus survive for thousands of years without them being here, teaching and preaching? Uh, I did kind of a deep dive into the whole subject of having a guru. And Dr. David Hawkins writes in one of my favorite books, Power versus Force, he writes about this. In Eastern spiritual disciplines, it is accepted that the devotee alone, unaided by a guru or a teacher, is unlikely to make progress. The AA, Alcoholics Anonymous, experience is that a true alcoholic is unable to recover without the help of a sponsor. In sports, great coaches are sought after because their influence inspires maximum effort. A devotee can abet his own progress by merely focusing on an advanced teacher and thereby aligning with that teacher's energy field. I thought that was so super interesting, right? Merely focusing on an advanced teacher. So even if they're dead, this is silly, but I remember when I had an audition a long time ago uh, to play Marilyn Monroe, I actually asked her, I thought, I'm just going to ask her spirit to help me with this audition. I didn't get the part. But hey, the point is that we can actually align ourselves with a teacher's energy field. Even great authors, even Shakespeare, Aristotle, Plato, whoever, we can align with their energy, even if they're not here. So, what does it mean to have a guru or to follow a leader? And is there a healthy way that we can do this? Because we've all seen the unhealthy ways, right? I myself am addicted to all those documentaries about cults. It's so fascinating, right? And I'm just amazed at how one person can influence hundreds of people or thousands of people, like Jim Jones or Charles Manson, or how manipulative and influential and powerful they can be. But to get back to the point, is there a healthy, beneficial way to follow a guru or a spiritual teacher without losing yourself? And ultimately, how can we be our own guru? How can we evolve without the influence of a teacher? Or can we? All my life I've considered myself a nonconformist. I was raised by a opinionated single mom who taught me to question everything and everyone. So, but when it comes to my emotional health and my spiritual growth, I've had many teachers and gurus. I've been profoundly influenced by Marianne Williamson, Martha Beck, Eckhart Tolle, and many other spiritual teachers who aren't famous or well known. But what I've come to realize is that even Jesus doesn't want me to worship him. This came as a surprise to me because I grew up in the church, and in the 70s and 80s, I was always in churches and we were worshiping Jesus like crazy. I mean, it felt good. The music was great and it was fun. I loved singing and playing a tambourine. But when I found these words in chapter 1 of A Course in Miracles, I was kind of shocked actually. And I'm still trying to figure out what Jesus really means by these words. Jesus said, equals should not be in awe of one another because awe implies inequality. It is therefore an inappropriate reaction to me. An elder brother is entitled to respect for his greater experience and obedience for his greater wisdom. He's also entitled to love because he's a brother. and to devotion if he is devoted. It is only my devotion that entitles me to yours. And now here's the part that really jumped off the page. There is nothing about me that you cannot attain. I have nothing that does not come from God. And the difference between us is that I have nothing else. This leaves me in a state which is only potential in you. So there it is, right there in his own words. He's not really interested in me worshiping him as much as he's interested in me becoming him and embodying all that he is, all that comes from God. And and isn't that the highest and most noble goal for any parent or teacher or guru to have? That we want to imbue our children, our students, our followers with the power of the truths that we're teaching, more than we want them to worship and adore us as someone more powerful than them. If we worship our gurus, if we lose ourselves in the adoration of our teachers, even Jesus himself, how can we live in the power of what they're trying to give us? I mean, isn't that really the point? I know this subject is a little tricky, isn't it? Because in my life, I've put so many people up on a pedestal: teachers, leaders, friends, boyfriends, even my own kids, even God. They've all fallen off the pedestal. It begs the question, are we meant to worship anything or anyone outside of ourselves? What does that mean, worshiping or following or believing in a guru or teacher, a leader? According to A Course in Miracles, all minds are joined and we're all one. And Jesus says in A Course in Miracles that miracles are healing because they supply a lack. They are performed by those who temporarily have more for those who temporarily have less. So if that's true, what that means is that even the most enlightened gurus, even Jesus, they're only temporarily ahead of us. And he shares this thought throughout the Course in Miracles. His desire for us is to do as he did. And in the Bible, he said, greater things than I have done, you will do. Choose your gurus well. And always, always remember that you have access to ultimate truth within your own mind. You can find a way to peace and enlightenment that honors your sovereignty, your common sense, your discernment, the wisdom within you. Always check in with yourself. This part of us that is connected to source energy, as Abraham Hicks says, is called a lot of things, right? The Course calls it our self with a capital S. Some metaphysical teachers call it our higher self. Abraham Hicks calls it our inner being. Some say it's your intuition. But always remember that you are the sovereign of your own mind, thoughts, beliefs, convictions, knowledge, and wisdom. I think it's really, really important to remember this. We humans are constantly projecting onto each other, for better or worse, right? How we feel about our gurus reflects what is within us, maybe even more than what is within them. How we evolve, heal, learn, and grow depends on where we are in our level of awareness. How ready are we and how willing are we to take 100% responsibility for our own healing? Our healing is in our hands. And even with the help and support of all the power of the universe, our willingness and participation is still required. The energy of love, while it is powerful, it's not rude and forceful. Divine love is gentle and it will wait and give us time as much as we need to get to that place where we will willingly invite it in. Knock and the door shall be opened. Jesus didn't say, break the door down. You just have to knock and he'll open it, right? Seek and you shall find. Ask and it is given. At the end of the day and at the end of our lives, it comes down to us. Who do we follow? Who do we believe? How much were we able to let go of our own pain and fear? How much were we able to break down the barriers to love that is everywhere, all around us? How much were we able to say yes to miracles? That is totally up to us. Choose your gurus carefully and never let anyone or anything take away your inner sovereignty. Remember, the mind of God is within your mind. The Holy Spirit, divine wisdom, is available to you directly. Yeah, there are people who channel the divine. I absolutely believe that. And I also believe that the divine is available to you for you. God doesn't play favorites. Mm-mm. People do, parents do, teachers do, but God doesn't. If we choose him, he chooses us. If we choose her, it, whatever you want to call it, don't get hung up on semantics and words. If we choose love, truth, wisdom, enlightenment, miracles, they will choose us. It's that simple. It's that simple. Maybe not easy, but it is that clear. What we choose chooses us. What we focus on will grow in our lives. So choose your gurus carefully, choose your focus carefully, and be aware of what you're choosing. Take good care today of your mind, of your thoughts, of your heart, of your emotions, and of your body too. Give yourself at least 5 minutes today just to breathe and to be still and to know that you have access to all the wisdom of the universe. Yes.